Great to have you with us tonight, folks. This is the story that the globe is paying attention to. There's no question about it. And it's the story that we are all fired up about. I'm fired up about this guy right here. The President of the United States. You know, I wish I had 5 hours to talk to you tonight and have fun with this, because we're going to talk about American exceptionalism tonight. And before we start with the President, we've got to thank those Navy SEALs and those military guys that give it their all the time for the United States of America. Tonight we're going to show you some interesting footage about how they love this country, how we responded to all of this, and of course we just can't forget what they have said about our president. This president right here, President Barack Obama, if we can just for a moment talk about the guts this guy has shown over the last 48 hours. Talk about how he has undoubtedly proven that he can take the 3 a.m. call, that he may not have served in the military, but he certainly sure makes a lot of good calls, doesn't he? And about how this country, despite all of the division that we have politically, we are now beginning to unite a little bit. This may be a big turning point for this country. I hope so. But President Obama did it with dignity, didn't he? Wasn't any jingoism going on, no cowboy kind of talk, a lot of dignity shown, a lot of class, a lot of, I guess he did it kind of like the academic way. This is the guy that they said didn't have the experience because he never served in the military before. He's had to make some pretty heady decisions as of late. And he has gotten the #1 terrorist on the face of the earth, the man that was responsible for killing some 3,000 Americans. And of course, this is, I guess you could say, the mission accomplished banner that we should be putting up. The FBI's most wanted fugitive, Osama bin Laden, camped out in this nice $1 million compound for 6 years. And on actionable intelligence, just like the president said he was going to do it, he acted and got it done. You know, but then there's the troops. You know how we hear so much about the troops and how they just have got to have our support. And we do give them the support, absolutely. But then there's this talk about Republican and Democrat and who supports the troops more. I was captivated by this video. This is at the Naval Academy. This is the commandant with those wonderful Americans. Let's take a look at this. I believe that we have won. How about that spirit? That spirit. Do you think those folks at the Naval Academy, the way they were feeling last night, do you feel that they love the President of the United States? Do you think they pay attention to all the political rhetoric that's going on? Or are they focused on being great servants to this country in the military? That's what they're all about. This was a huge moment for our military. This was a uniting moment for this country. And they put aside all the political divide that was out there. And I have great respect for the way the president has done this, because some of the details that are coming out are so doggone interesting. This guy that didn't have any military experience had to make some pretty tough calls. As the president was offered 4 options here. He could have bombed the target. He didn't want to do that because that, of course, would have ruined all of the evidence. And, of course, we got to have proof that Osama bin Laden is dead, and it would have killed a lot of innocent people, and this president was very concerned about that. He could have done a clandestine operation, didn't want to do that. Could have joined in and done a joint operation with the Pakistanis, but the way things have been going, you know what? He just didn't want to outsource this one. He turned to those great kids that you saw. He turned to those kinds of Americans to say, you know what? You got to do this job. We are focused as a country. We're focused as a military. I've told you on the campaign trail that we are going to get Osama bin Laden. This is the time. This is the moment. This is the chance. And we're going to move forward and do it, just like we said we were going to do it as Americans. You know what that is, folks? That's leadership. That's guts, but it's leadership at its finest hour. And so the president said, no, what we're going to do is we're going to go with the SEALs. the SEALs are going to get it done. So the Special Ops team conducted 2 rehearsals on April 7th and April 13th. And the commander reported back to the commander-in-chief, says, this will work. This will work. And the president said, well, what are you going to do if a chopper goes down? Think about that. The guy that doesn't have any military experience asks the critical question, okay, you're going to go in there with a couple of choppers or one of them. What if it doesn't work? What's your backup plan? He knew. That was President Obama's concern. He said, what if one of the choppers failed? He asked comrades, the commanders, to come up with a fight-your-way-out plan. Now, on the campaign trail, they were saying that he was going to cut and run. On the campaign trail, they said that this man didn't have the experience. He didn't have the country on a war footing. He didn't understand the war on terrorism. But at that 11th hour, he asked the critical question, how are you going to fight your way out? What are you going to do if this happens? No, this is leadership. There's no question about it. Some other details. Well, bin Laden's son, he was taken out on the stairs between the 2nd and 3rd floor. The commando who took out Osama bin Laden recognized him on the 3rd floor on sight and shot him twice just over the left eye. See, as Americans, we got to have proof. We love the detail of operations like this, don't we? Yeah, it's gruesome, but it was damn gruesome on September 11th. And I don't believe that this is closure. I believe that this is an end of a chapter, and we've all been reminded that we've got to keep up this fight and keep going. But the president is going. He's moving forward again and again and again. Even tonight, the President of the United States is at the White House trying to bring these critics together and say, you know what, we've got to get together and we've got to move this country forward. This is the President tonight with the Republicans.
Obviously, we've all had disagreements and differences in the past. I suspect we'll have them again in the future. But last night, as Americans learned that the United States had carried out an operation that resulted in the capture and death of Osama bin Laden, we I think we experienced the same sense of unity that prevailed on 9/11. We were reminded again that there is a pride in what this nation stands for and what we can achieve that runs far deeper than party, far deeper than politics.
You know, that was the president tonight speaking at the White House. Once again, olive branching, trying to bring everybody together, trying to use this as a moment of unity because we as a country have accomplished something fantastic. This has been a great day for America. But I'm an Obama supporter and have been. And I just will never let the Republicans forget what they said about our president throughout all of this, leading up to it. The president has been accurate about this for years. This is what he said during a speech on August 1st, 2007.
If we have actionable intelligence about high-value terrorist targets and President Musharraf will not act, we will.
Hannity, Limbaugh, Rove, they jumped all over that. That was candidate Obama getting aggressive. And a year later, in a debate with John McCain in Nashville, Tennessee, President Obama had this to say just weeks before the election, much more specific.
What I've said is we're going to encourage democracy in Pakistan, expand our non-military aid to Pakistan so that they have more of a stake in working with us, but insisting that they go after these militants. And if we have Osama bin Laden in our sights and the Pakistani government is unable or unwilling to take them out, then I think that we have to act, and we will take them out. We will kill bin Laden. We will crush al-Qaeda. That has to be our biggest national security priority.
Did you hear that? If they are unable or not willing, we're going to go ahead and do it. John McCain hammered the freshman senator from Illinois making that statement. Take a look at this.
You know, my hero is a guy named Teddy Roosevelt. Teddy Roosevelt used to say, walk softly, talk softly, but carry a big stick. Senator Obama likes to talk loudly. In fact, he said he wants to announce that he's going to attack Pakistan. Remarkable. Senator Obama, by saying that he would attack Pakistan, look at the context of his words. I'll get Osama bin Laden, my friends. I'll get him. I know how to get him. I'll get him no matter what. And I know how to do it. But I'm not going to telegraph my punches.
Thank God America picked the guy who actually got